All right, good morning. Welcome back to Twin Stick Garage. So today I'm going to pick up where I left off in the last episode where I pulled out the little 301 engine out of this TransAM and set it on the floor there. I've actually picked up a while back a 6.6 liter 400 cubic inch engine that I actually want to take apart today to see what I have, with the goal to try and send it off to the machine shop and get it built up. Eventually want to put a nice big cam in it and nice loud exhaust and get this car back on the road by spring. So that's going to be the goal today, is to, like I say, see what I bought. Running one parked, so I don't know, until we get it apart, you really don't know what you have. And then take a look at this monstrosity. So I've been working hard on the Duke as well, and I built this hillbilly paint booth because I ended up painting the interior, well, priming the interior. I still need to paint it, but it's coming along nice. If you actually want to see the episode where I did all that, go check out my Patreon. But like I was saying, today's going to be another TransAM day, and we'll take that engine apart and see what we got.
Well, him and my uncle tore that engine down. I still remember that rumbling sound.
So before I get rolling today, I actually wanted to highlight something cool that a fan sent me. So a while ago, I had talked about the Movie Correct CB antenna for the top of the TransAM. And they were made, the original ones, or the ones that were used in the movie, were made by a company called Antenna Specialists. And unfortunately, they stopped making these about 30 years ago. So you can't get your hands on them. And the ones that are still out there have usually been, typically been snapped up by guys that have already made Smokey and The Bandit TransAM replicas. So I found a couple of old beat up Antenna Specialist ones off of eBay, and they're just junk, in pretty rough shape. So I was going to try and fix one of them up, but what ended up happening was this fan by the name of Mike in Atlanta reached out to me, and he goes, "Mark, I got exactly what you need." So he, a long time ago, he had actually bought a brand new Antenna Specialist, what is it, model number MR125. He bought it brand new with the plans to put it on his pickup truck, but he never installed it. So we settled on a price and he sent it up to me. And now check this out. This is an exact movie replica Antenna Specialist MR125. Brand new, never been installed. He gave me all the gear for it, the cable. So I can't believe it. I'm really grateful that he reached out, because this is going to be an awesome piece on the TransAM. Of course, where it went is rooftop. They mounted it between the two T-tops right at the back. And I was reading the instructions here that came with it. It's a rooftop mount mobile antenna, and you just drill a 3/8 hole, and it's got a little crush collar that secures it to the vehicle. But this must have been what Hal Needham and the production guys went and grabbed. They must have bought 4 of these to install them on the original movie cars. So there was 4 cars used in the movie. Actually, only 3. One was a promotional car that after filming was done, they went around and they had it all. They kept that one nice in order to promote the movie. But they used 3 in the movie. They were actually 76 TransAMs, because the movie was filmed in 76, came out in spring, well, I guess spring, summer of 77. And they actually had 3 of them, and they just ruined them. Obviously one, they jumped over the bridge and smashed it. And then the other 2, Hal Needham said by the end of filming, they were just on their last legs. But they were actually 76s. But Pontiac had some front clips from 77 because they were just starting production. So obviously the car came out in 77, so they wanted it to look like a 77. So they ruined 3 of them, but again, they must have actually bought 4 of these antennas and then just drilled holes and mounted them on there. So I'm so excited to get to the bodywork portion of the car to mount that on there. So thanks again, Mike, for sending that. Okay, with that, let's get going on that 6.6. All right, so there's the beauty. 400 cubic inch, 6.6. Now, it's not a small block, it's not a big block. From what I understand, is Pontiac all had the same size engine blocks. They just varied the bore and the stroke. So you could go, you could have the little 301 all the way up to the big 455. But I wanted to go with the 400 because A, it was a good deal, and B, it was movie correct. They had the 6.6 liter You could see it on the little, on the cowl or the shaker hood. On the Bandit TransAM there. So what I'm going to do first here is probably disconnect, take the transmission off. I'm actually going to drop this off at the gear center. Not only do they do big heavy truck parts, tractors, that type of thing, but I also found out they do automobile, like cars and trucks, light duty. So I'm going to drop that off, get them to rebuild that, put a nice high stall torque converter in it, and then that'll be ready to go. So I'll split those apart. And then I've got this, this rickety engine stand, and I'm starting to realize that when you buy something used, there's usually a reason why someone's selling it. This, when I bought it, this should actually have a longer arm on it, obviously, but it was busted off, and he assured me, he's like, oh yeah, it just slides together, it connects together, but there must have been like an internal square piece of tubing here for the longer arm to slide on there. So that's why it's just a little short arm, but it should work good enough to lift it up. I've actually got an engine stand from Vevor that I'm going to put together, and then I'll be able to hopefully lift it high enough and then mount that on the engine stand, and then I can start disassembly. And then I'm probably going to put my Super Sol parts washer through its paces today as well, cleaning all this stuff up as we start to take it all apart. So anyway, with that, I guess I'll go ahead and get started. Wow, these are quite the little bolts in here. I have no idea how a guy would put these in there while it's up in the car. So I am thinking I will probably put the torque converter on and then lift the transmission into place, because these are, you can barely get the flats on the one end there. So you got to turn it from the inside, and as you can see, there's not a lot of room. Lots of compression. Oh man, you get what you pay for. I think this thing's got to go in the junk heap. Now normally I'd use my gantry, of course, but I just can't get it over in this corner with the peat in the way. This thing doesn't want to... Now I bought this piece of junk to lift the Brownie transmission, the auxiliary transmission, in little by little. I don't know what's going on with this though. I think someone pulled a fast one on me, but it was working though. I can't figure out why it's not low on oil, because oil, I guess this is the fill port. Yeah, oil's coming out of there. Oh, what a piece of junk. Okay, I'm gonna have to set it down and then re-pick it with the chains a little shorter. Whoa, 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 where are you going? So I can raise it up high enough to put it on the engine mount. But okay, at least it's where I want it for now. All right, so next up, like I say, I got this engine stand from Vevor, and I picked it up a while ago. I've just been waiting to put this together, so today's the day. Some assembly required. That was actually a lot of little nuts and bolts, but I'm digging the General Lee orange. That's pretty cool. And it seems to be well put together. So thanks to Vevor for sending me that. If you want to get your own Vevor engine stand, you can check out Vevor on Amazon, or I got a link down below as well. Okay, so with that, let's see if I can't get that engine on that stand. Ah, crap. So because this Mickey Mouse piece of junk that I bought only has this short nose on it, I can't get it. If I spin it around, it still won't reach the engine stand, and I can't reach it from the side either. Oh man. I think what I need to do is, well, I guess, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll wheel it over and use the Gratz gantry and pick this thing properly. And then I can put it on the engine stand and then wheel it back over here and then send this piece of, you know what, to the scrap yard. Ugh. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do if you're taking an engine apart is go and pick up a bunch of these bins. When they go on sale at Princess Auto, you can never have enough of those. Well, I'm glad it had oil in it. That's something. It doesn't look too bad. So the story on this engine, it came out of a 76 TransAM. You can see the 75 on there, so that's when it was manufactured. And thank God it's not the dreaded 500 577. It's the 481, whatever it is, 988. So this is a decent block before they started screwing with them and making them so you couldn't put any, you couldn't actually build them up without fear of cracking the mains. It's also got the bigger heads too. I believe there's a 4X and a 6X. I think the 6X have the bigger valves, so we'll pop that off of there and see. I gotta do a little more research. Now I may rebuild these heads, I haven't decided yet, or I may go with some aluminum ones. I guess I'll just see on the cost. I'll take the block and the heads in. I still obviously gotta finish disassembly here, but yeah, it's coming along not too bad. Pretty much take the whole damn thing apart with a 9/16 and a 1/2 inch socket. These old engines are very, very straightforward. Okay, I'll just keep grinding away here and unbolting stuff. So the guy I bought it off of, he had a really nice 76 TransAM. It was orange, and he didn't like the rear ends in it. It had some highway gears, and it wasn't posy. So he bought this other 76 TransAM that had this engine and transmission in it. He bought the whole car just for the back, or for the rear diff. So he took the rear diff out, put it in his car, And then he just started parting out. He sold the front clip, the front fenders, all the interior. And all he basically had left by the time I got there was the engine and transmission. So of course, I'm gonna drop the parts everywhere. Of course I picked that up. And then that's what you see here today. But when he pulled the engine out, he pulled it out okay, but then I think his buddy was lifting it up with a tractor or something, and you can see here, he broke the distributor cap off. There was something that fell on it or something, or it fell over. So it needs a new distributor, but that's okay. Yeah, you can see it's broken there. Look at that. So that is junk. But supposedly, like I was saying, it was running when parked. He drove the car on and off his trailer and then just took the differential, so he didn't want the engine. I think his already had a 400 in it, or it was the 455. I can't recall, but supposedly it had a high stall converter in the transmission, and I'm not sure if the engine was built up or not. There. But it doesn't really matter at this point because, like I say, I'm going to be building this thing up. I'm going to try and get, I'd like to get 400 horsepower out of this thing if I could. I'm pretty sure that's possible. Oh, I might need a universal joint for that guy. I think with the right cam and decent compression, you can get 400 of these old 400s. Now, hopefully there's nothing wrong with the block and nothing wrong with the crank and all that. Like I say, we'll find out when we get it to the machine shop. Damn near every bolt on this thing is a 9/16. And it's funny because a lot of the bolting on the big trucks as well as semi trucks is 9/16. So I never seem to have enough 9/16 wrenches and sockets around. Got to go to Princess Auto and get a whole bunch of them. There it goes. Now I'll probably get an aluminum manifold as well. Well, actually this one's aluminum.
Nope.
It looks like someone did some of their own fancy grinding on here. I'll get the camera and show you. Right there. I don't know what he was up to, he or she. Got a little special port. Interesting. Anyway, I'll probably still replace, I don't know what that's supposed to be, 184, 8, 6, I don't know. Guess that's always the danger of having an open pan of oil down below. So you can drop stuff into it. So just taking the plugs out and drop one in there. So he was going with some significant gap there. Some kind of NGK Ultra. But man, the gap, I mean, that's huge. It's amazing this thing was actually running. I don't know, maybe these fancy spark plugs with the center electrode there can have a big gap like that, but that just seems ridiculous. And then the wear on the components didn't seem too bad. I mean, typical wear on the lifters. A little bit of scuffing. I'm going to replace these all with new. But I don't see any major damage on anything. And the push rods, same thing. A little bit of wear, but nothing too exciting. Again, all this is going to get replaced. Yeah, these old steel heads are not light. They are stout. Okay. But they look like damn big valves. I think the 6X are the good ones. Those are gonna work. Those are gonna work quite nice. Now, did he do any polishing in here? Boy, the ports actually look. Here, I'll get the camera and show you. Like, look at that. There's barely any roughness from the casting. Big old valves all carboned up. But the, I noticed on the manifold here, where was it? There. He was trying to do a little bit of polishing. Trying to get a little more power. Now the pistons look like high-end pistons as well. I don't think Pontiac had stock dented pistons like that. Huh. Almost should have just left this thing and chucked it in the car. I'm starting to wonder. Rebuild never hurts. But I don't feel any significant scoring in the cylinders. Yeah, I think this is going to be a decent block, assuming there's no cracks or nonsense down low. Yeah, it's got some original stamping on there, so I imagine this hasn't really been decked before. Yeah, cool. All right, Mark, let's finish this up. Yeah, it looks like this oil pan, I don't know if he dented this to fit it in under the cross member or it just got, if it hit something. Yeah, either way, I'll probably get a new oil pan. I'll probably get one that's designed to fit in the cradle of the TransAM. And this oil pan's going directly into the degreaser. Into the bath. This thing is dirty as hell. Well, actually, I might just throw it outside. Because again, I might not even use this, reuse this again. Anything in there interesting? A little bit of material. Yeah, a little bit of wear. A little bit of wear and tear in there. You can never have enough bins, folks. When you're doing a project like this. Oh, that's the little drive for the oil pump. That's cool. Okay, put you away like that. Well, I'm no expert, but that might have been the reason why it was leaking oil. You'd think that this guy would come all the way and meet in the middle like the old Diamond Rio song. So a little bit of scoring on the mains. It could definitely use a bit of polish. Okay, let's get those connecting rods off of there. Well, that's pretty much it. Bang out these rest of these pistons. And we can call this motor disassembled.
Piece of cake.
Okay. I don't got so much oil in it. Now let's take a look. Are these 2227P, what is it, 130? 030, so is this already 30 over? I wonder if that's what that means. Oh, some scoring there. I don't know if you can see it on this piston, so yeah. I'll probably take this whole mess in, oh, a little bearing. Oh, there's the rope seal. Both pieces of it. Yeah, I can't see anything. I'll bring the camera closer so you can see it. So there's the scoring on the piston I was talking about. But the crank looks good. There's a little bit of wear. Yeah, you can feel, your fingernail can feel the scratches in there. I thought this one was interesting with the thrust bearing on it. Oh, of course, losing the bolts. Okay. Put that back where it came from, Mark. Yeah, new cam bearings. I'll get them to install those as well. There's not too much to these old V8s. All right, well, I have to say the old V4 engine stand worked. It didn't drop the engine on my toe, so I'm happy about that. And the cylinders feel decent. Yeah, maybe just some light honing and a new set of bearings, polish the crank. Maybe I'll take the heads in, I'll get a quote on what it would take to redo those and then compare that to a set of aluminum heads. New set of pistons and connecting rods, a new manifold. Yeah, get ready to spend some money here, Mark. And then paint it Pontiac blue and bolt it all back together and toss her back in the car. All right, so with that, I think I'm gonna wrap the episode up there. That was a bit of work. And like I always say, I earned my treat. Oh, tasty. All right, well, hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for following along. Thanks for watching till the end. Feel free to leave a comment down below on what I did right and what I did wrong. And yeah, as always, appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next week. And don't ever forget, if you got it, a trucker brought it.
It's brand new, 78 miles.
Oh, thank you. Don't you have an older car somewhere?